morning and welcome to Love Every Moment, coming to you today from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Today's verse is Matthew 7:3 and also 4. Why do you look at the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, and behold, the log is in your own eye? Now I love the hyperbole that Jesus uses, and I imagine when Jesus first said this on the Mount, that there had to have been people snickering, because they probably realized that he was very much criticizing the Pharisees. And back then, nobody criticized the Pharisees. They were the top people of society, and here Jesus dared to criticize them. But of course, this criticism could hit any Christian, not just Pharisees. So as I read this, I see two great teachings. The first one, as you notice, it says, why do you look at the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log? It doesn't say, but you don't notice the speck in your own eye. In other words, we don't have the same thing. One person has a speck, I have a log. Mine's bigger, but the point is it's different. So, the first major teaching is it's easy for us humans to criticize others who have a different sin than we do. They have a different issue. We might say, well, at least I'm not gay, but then I cheat on my taxes or something. Or I might say, well, I've never cheated on my wife, but then I look at porn or something like that. So we may be free of one particular sin, but we have another sin that might be just as bad, or actually it's worse because now I'm being arrogant on top of it by saying I'm better than that person because my sin's different. That's the first major teaching. And if we look at Matthew 23, Jesus spends an entire chapter just railing on the Pharisees and how they are abusing their position. And at first it starts off with a criticism of the Pharisees, who, remember, were the professional law keepers, and they expected everyone else to keep the law, but they completely missed the heart of the law, the intent of the law. And in verse 4, Jesus says, they tie up heavy burdens and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves are unwilling to move them with so much as a finger. So they are burdening men, and this is what we do if we're criticizing others because of their sin. We're putting more burdens on them. What we should do is help rid them of burdens. As Jesus continues, he gets even more sarcastic towards them. In verse 24, he says, you blind guides who strain out a gnat and swallow a camel. And this hilarious hyperbole is very similar to the speck that is in the brother's eye and the log that's in your own. So they strain out a gnat from their drink, but miss a camel, and they just chug that right down. I think that's, again, just hilarious. And remember, if we have a log that is in our own eye, it makes us pretty blind, and blind guides are not very useful guides. So that's the first major teaching, is that it's easy to criticize someone who has a different sin. So we got to knock it off. The second major teaching is just the overall principle of being overly critical. We humans tend to be this way. We're a people that nitpick all the time. Look at social media. It's a lot of nitpicking on there. I have a friend who actually got all upset because the guy sitting next to him was turning the pages of his Bible too loudly. No kidding. And we can be that way. Little things can set us off. I remember when I was first a Christian, someone told me, you're really critical of people. And it really cut to me because I was. I thought I knew everything. And the Holy Spirit was really cutting me with that comment, telling me to knock it off. So the thing that really helped me is to understand this basic principle. It is not our job as a Christian to save the world, to fix anyone. That's not our job. That's his job. Our job is to love. Love everybody, to bring them closer to Jesus, to tell the good news, and then let him do the fixing. Because if we love every moment, we're going to love every moment. I'm your average wretch, and I hope you have a great week.